In this video, we're breaking down exactly what our cost of living was for the 2 months we lived in Buenos Aires, Argentina, from October 18th to December 19th, for a total of 62 nights.
This isn't just about how much it costs to visit. We're talking about what it cost us to live there as nomads and expats on a moderate budget.
If you're new here, hi! We're Jeff and Sandra. We're American expats and full-time nomads living abroad on a budget, one country at a time. After selling and giving away almost all of our stuff, we became nomads in May of 2023. Then in November of that same year, we left the United States to travel the world as our retirement plan.
We're not millionaires. We're funding our nomad life from savings and mostly with the proceeds from selling our stuff, our house, our cars, most of what we owned.
And soon we'll be eligible for Social Security, which we'll use, hopefully, to continue to do this for years to come.
We share our adventures, expenses, and nomad lifestyle here and on Facebook and on our blog. Our goal? To show what this life actually looks like on a moderate budget. Now, moderate is a pretty subjective term. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Industry figures for 2023, the average monthly cost of living budget for a retired couple living in the United States is $5,000 to $6,000 per month. We're aiming to live abroad for about half that amount.
And just to be clear, this isn't a vacation. This is our daily life. We're not backpackers and we're not luxury travelers. We live abroad on a budget. Most days we're just doing what we have always done, making ourselves a home, working on a project, cooking, running errands, wherever that home might happen to be at the moment.
Our monthly cost of living target is $2,700 for all living expenses. This is all of our cost of living expenses. We track the cost of relocating separately, and we'll discuss relocation cost at the end of the video.
Let's start with our biggest category, housing.
Housing. Our total accommodation cost for 62 nights was $1,766. That includes $870 for 32 nights for an apartment in central Buenos Aires, which we really liked, and we'll put a link to it in the description, and $896 for 30 nights in a one-bedroom apartment in the Vicente Lopez neighborhood.
That second place, not our favorite. And as it turns out, it wasn't a great place to stay. The location was not great, and the apartment was not as described. Airplane noises because of the neighborhood. It was directly under the approach path for an international airport. There was massive construction from the building next door, same wall, lots of hammer drill action for almost the entire time we were there. And the apartment hadn't had a thorough cleaning in a while. And then there was mold in the bathroom. Ugh.
Altogether, it averaged out to about $28 per night.
Next up, food.
Food, glorious food.
We track food expenses in two categories, meals out and meals in. We're not foodies chasing fine dining experiences. We're foodies in the sense that we appreciate good value.
We had 27 meals out during our stay. Sometimes that meant grabbing a couple of empanadas or coffee and media unas while we explored. Sometimes it was a proper sit-down meal.
Cost for meals out was $438. That includes everything from $5 snacks to our most expensive meal, $44 for a pizza and an empanada, which honestly wasn't worth it. We ate the leftovers the next day, but compared to the other meals, like the awesome sushi night, it felt like a ripoff.
Yeah, it was a little steep for a pizza and an empanada. Our budget for meals out is $450 per month, so we averaged less than half that per month, which is not bad.
Side note, when we say budget, it's a lot out of habit. But what we really mean is our spending goal. It's not rigid, it's flexible and based on our priorities.
Groceries were the bigger spend. No surprise since we cooked most of our meals in.
We don't track each meal, but 2 to 3 meals a day, we easily had about 120 meals at home. Our total grocery spend was $947, or just over our goal of $900 for 2 months.
Our grocery budget also includes non-food items that we buy at the supermarket. Aluminum foil, dish soap, paper towels, toilet paper, those sort of things.
And every time we move, we rebuy basics like salt, pepper, cooking oil, things you really can't buy just a few weeks worth, but it doesn't make sense for us to carry them with us to the next place, since we do carry on only.
So our total food spend for 62 days in Buenos Aires, $1,385, just over $22 per day. Next up, we spent around $200 total on activities and local transportation.
More than half of that went to a 72-hour hop-on, hop-off tourist bus passes, which we use the heck out of. It's a good way to see a lot of the city without a lot of walking, especially when we're just settling in.
We also took a couple of Ubers, like walking a mile to the big grocery store to stock up and then realizing that we really didn't want to haul everything back on foot.
We don't do a lot of sightseeing or touristy stuff in most places. That's a big misconception about this lifestyle.
We're not on vacation. We're just living. Sometimes that includes a museum or a day trip, but we average maybe one real activity per week. Imagine if you were going somewhere for a week's vacation. We do the same sort of things that you would do during that week. It's just that we spread them out over a month or so. We visited Teatro Colón as well as Colón Fabrica, where sets are created and stored for the theater, the Japanese Garden, Bellas Arts Museum, Tigre Delta, and more. But again, we spread our activities out over that 2 months.
Next up, technology, which for us is mainly cell phone coverage, mobile data, and things that keep us connected while we travel.
Right. Our total tech cost for this 2-month stretch came to $392. But that includes prepaid costs that won't come due again until next fall.
Yeah, we paid for my entire 12-month stateside cell phone plan while we were in Buenos Aires. And Jeff topped up his 20 gigabyte of mobile data that'll last him a full year. So even though our technology costs were a bit higher than normal for us, those are actually prepaid costs, which didn't make sense for us to spread out over months. If you're curious how we pay just $400 a year for cell phone coverage and data, we'll put more information in our description.
Health-related expenses are up next and came to $866. Now that includes our monthly insurance premiums, prescription refills, over-the-counter meds, and doctor's visits.
Our health insurance is billed annually, but for budgeting purposes, we spread it out and count it as $283 per month.
Prescription refills were high in Argentina compared to what we paid last year in Portugal or Spain, and we had to purchase some over-the-counter drugs due to a minor illness during our time in Buenos Aires. Plus, I had a doctor's bill from back in the States that was due. I'm still a little salty about my $185 copay on the $299 that was billed for a 15-minute visit, when most of the places we've been, the cost of a doctor's visit has been less than $50, and that's without using insurance.
And then there's the everything else category, which came to $697.
Right, so miscellaneous. This includes things like our life insurance, disability insurance, clothing, random stuff that really doesn't fit cleanly into any other category.
Some of the big ticket items during this period were my 1 year of Duolingo subscription, which, because yes, I'm still working on my Spanish, and our 1 year Amazon Prime renewal.
We don't buy a lot of stuff from Amazon while traveling, but we do like having access to English language TV shows, and Amazon Prime helps us with that.
So while this category looks high, it's not typical month to month. That said, these kinds of expenses are part of real life, even while traveling. So here's the final tally for our 2-month cost of living in Buenos Aires. Housing was $1,766, food was $1,385, activities and local transport was $194, technology $392, healthcare $866, miscellaneous $697.
So that's a total of $5,300 for 62 days. About $85 a day. So that's the total cost of living in Buenos Aires for 2 people, which is a little less than our target of $90 per day. And remember, some of that was things we pay annually that just happen to pop up this time of year. Some of it is expenses that are unique to our life. You may not be carrying disability insurance or whole life policies for your grands. You may not have an Ancestry.com subscription to pay for every month. but not bad for living in a capital city with lots to see and do and great public parks, amazing bakeries, and amazing weather.
Before we wrap up, let's talk about relocation costs because yes, getting to Buenos Aires was a chunk of change.
Our move from Portland, Oregon to Buenos Aires cost us $2,542 in airfare. That includes travel insurance and upgrades like extra legroom. No checked bags though, we travel carry-on only.
And once we're in Buenos Aires, we also moved from one neighborhood to another about halfway through our stay. The Uber cost cross town cost us $9, which brings the total relocation cost to $2,551.
Right, this is not a part of our monthly cost of living. We budget relocation expenses separately, and we have an annual target for that.
That said, the goal is to keep our relocation costs under $7,200 annually, but that's looking less and less realistic with each move we make. We end up buying some sort of upgrade because we value comfort.
Right, like having some extra legroom for Mr. 6'2", or not spending 36 hours on a flight with 4 layovers just to save $100.
So yeah, we'll probably revisit the budget for relocation after our second full year on the road.
That's the full rundown for our 2 months in Buenos Aires.
We're doing our best to be as transparent as possible about our cost of living, traveling abroad, as full-time expats and nomads. We're always open to your questions, so let us know in the comments or find us on Facebook if you have any questions. We'd love to help. We'll put a link to that page in the description. And if you want more behind-the-scenes details, costs and breakdowns, and stories from our travels, check out our blog and Facebook page.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to follow along on our journey.
See you in the next country. And soon we'll be eligible for Social Security.
This isn't just about how much it costs to visit. We're talking about
Still too slow?
We're talking about what it cost us to live there as nomads and expats on a moderate budget.
And soon we'll be eligible for Social Security, which will hopefully fund